Hello everybody and welcome to part 1 of my Victoria 2 tutorial series. Today I will be talking about the budget screen. Between Victoria 2 Vanilla and Victoria 2 AHD, there have not been any major changes to the budget screen. The first thing you'll notice about the budget screen is that everything is made up of sliders, even the loan system. First we'll be looking at the daily income section, and two things you'll notice about this section in particular is that it is divided into three stratas: the poor strata, the middle strata, and the rich strata. Now the poor strata is made up of craftsmen, farmers, laborers, slaves, and soldiers, while the middle class is made up of artisans, bureaucrats, clergymen, clerks, and officers. And then you have the rich strata made up of the aristocrats and the capitalists. Now here I'm going to lower the tax of the poor class to 0%. Now by doing this, let's let a little bit of time pass. You will notice that the amount of people getting their full life needs grew, because they no longer have to pay so much money in taxes. They actually have more money to spend on themselves, which as a normal person sounds like a good thing. But as a ruler of a country, you now have less money to spend and your people have more money to spend. So they're going to be getting a lot more stuff, and over time, your people will be promoting to the middle class, and you'll have run out of lower class craftsmen and soldiers and farmers to feed your people, soldiers to serve in your military, and craftsmen to work in your factories. You'll no longer have those, but you'll have a lot more artisans, bureaucrats, clergymen, and officers to command your troops and clerks to organize the factories. Unfortunately, you need a lot more of the poor class and the lower class than you do with the middle class for your nation to operate successfully. So by making the tax too low, you will be crippling your nation's military, economy, and they're not going to have enough food to survive. However, if you tax them too much, but you'll see that they're no longer getting their life needs, they're just getting what they need to survive on an everyday basis. Now if I were to go farther to 100%, you would see this red section grow, which they're getting none of their needs, and if you tax them too much, you're essentially going to be killing off all your entire population, which will also run you short on craftsmen and soldiers and farmers, and even slaves. And to give you guys kind of an example, you can see here I've switched over to Prussia, where their government type, which is a conservative government, and I'll get more of the politics screen later on, they have a interventionist policy which allows the government to tax their people 100% and 0% if they wish to do so. So you will see over time your people will begin to get none of their needs and you will begin to kill them off. As you can see here, you typically want to keep the rich strata taxed less than all the others, and it's kind of like a pyramid, with the poor people on the bottom, and that's the majority, and then you have the middle class in the middle, of course, and they've got a little bit less people in it than the poor strata, and then at the top of the pyramid you have the rich strata, which is by far has the least amount of people in it. And that's kind of the way you want to keep it, and you want to keep taxes on the rich as low as possible while having a positive budget, because your capitalists are the ones that build your factories for you, especially in a democratic government where it's not an option for the government to build their own factories. You have to depend on capitalists to do that, and if they don't have the money to do that, then they won't. Of course, they won't build factories. And this also kind of ties in with tariffs. If your tariffs are too high, your rich strata is not going to want to build factories, and generally you want to keep these either at 2%, negative 2%, or 0%. Now on to your tariffs. Your tariffs you typically want to keep at about 0%, and you do not want to go more than plus or minus 2% on tariffs, because when you go negative tariffs, it increases how well your artisans are doing, and that's sort of a good thing, but you should want your craftsmen and your factories to be doing better than your artisans because they will be producing a lot more. And if you go too high, it'll also cripple your factories, um, because you're putting tariffs on all imported goods, and they may not be able to get they may not be able to afford all of the materials they need to output, say, regular clothes or luxury clothes from their factories, and then sell those. So unless your economy is in dire need, is horrible, and you need money soon or fast, try to keep your tariffs at about from anywhere from -2% to 2%. Um, you definitely want to max out taxes before you max out tariffs. Maxing out taxes will not damage your economy as much as maxing out tariffs will do. Alright, I hope this video helped you guys out. In the future, if this was successful, I might do more videos helping you guys out with Victoria too. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll talk to you later.